Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Wake Up Charlotte to Go. This morning we want to know, what do you think should be the general rule of thumb when it comes to cell phones in the classroom?
Yes. We've had some people chiming in this morning saying, you know, that for safety reasons, parents want their kids to have phones in this day and age that we live in. But then also, of course, we think about the teachers. We don't want distractions. It's hard enough as a teacher today anyway. Yeah. Kids can't pay attention.
Here, you've got the backstory here.
Right. So this is happening because of what's coming out of Cleveland County schools.
Now we got to fix that mic.
I know. I was trying to and then like stop moving, and I'm like, oh.
You can just have
Thank you, Chris, to the rescue. So like I said, coming out of Cleveland County schools, they're trying to crack down on kids using cell phones in the classroom. Now this comes as the National Education Association says it's not even using the device that can cause the distractions. Students literally struggle to learn because of the idea that they have something going on in their phone in their pockets. So that's part of the reason why the Board of Education is discussing some new policies with some new punishments. And here's what they're considering. Cell phones can't be active, displayed, or at all visible during school hours. And according to the proposal, students could face up to 1 day of in-school suspension, and that is just for their first offense. Second and third offenses gets even worse. Kids could be looking up to 5 days of out-of-school suspension. And it doesn't change by age. This is for elementary kids, middle, and high schoolers, all receiving the same punishments. As for what's next, the board will look to approve the new policies at the next board meeting, and that is happening next month. So we've been asking all morning, do you think kids should be allowed to use their phones in school? So make sure you drop a comment. This is, and it is, it's a lot.
And don't we have the comments?
Concerns. We do have some.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we can pull them up.
Maybe they can do that. They can work on that.
Yeah.
Some folks did text in and say, you know, overall, there needs to be some kind of policy, right, which I think we can all agree with.
Yep.
But the safety concern, especially with school shootings escalating, I mean, a lot of parents
really
just want that
scary.
peace of mind, which is so sad.
It sounds like that would be okay in this. You're allowed to possess a phone and have it in your bag or have it deactivated or something or put on silent. It just, you can't have it out. You can't be checking it. You can't, I mean, that, and to me,
Makes
I'll
sense.
just say that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, think about as adults, as grown-ups, how many times you have been in what you consider to be a boring meeting and you take out a phone. You don't know what's on the phone, but you just know it's there, so you're going to take it out and look at it and mindlessly scroll. There's nothing important on there. There's nothing important on there. But you're doing it because you're bored at a meeting. Same way students are bored in class. They need to be paying attention, but when you have which is the study you're referencing at the beginning, if you have the option of looking at your phone, you're always going to want to look at it.
Is there an age limit on this? I mean, why would someone like first, second, third grade have a phone anyway?
I know some parents, not necessarily a phone, but like the watches that act as phones, where you can call like 4 people, your parents, and then the parent can track the child. Like if the school bus is running late, they put they can follow it and see, you know, where's the school bus, or are they back from the field trip?
Already. I'm old school about this. Reading, writing, arithmetic. Let's go back to the basics of education. Phones are big distractions. If there's an emergency situation, someone will react to that. That's the teacher. They should make sure all teachers, they have a phone and they can instantly get in touch with someone. Having every kid have a phone is just, to me, that's a big distraction.
I totally agree that phones should not be in the classroom. But I think in today's day and age, we cover stories, and this is so horrible to think about, but kids like hiding in the bathroom or they're texting their family, and you know, I want to say, hopefully it never happens to your child's school.
Safety is first and foremost.
Yeah,
the
but
kids' safety. I mean,
but I think
getting them into a safe place.
Yeah.
Having a phone. Yeah, that's. You know, I don't know. This is getting in a giant quagmire as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know, the logistics of every kid having a phone, having it out, not having it out. How do you police that?
Keep it in your book bag or your locker.
This is an example, and people, you know, who go to work and go into meetings know, like, we are well aware at this desk that our phones need to be silenced.
Right.
And that if our phone goes off in a newscast, we will likely hear from one of our managers.
Yes.
Because that is not acceptable. And I think it's the same sort of policy. I think it's absolutely understandable that parents want their students to have a phone. Like, I get it. For safety reasons, I completely get it. It's also completely understandable to make sure that that student understands the silent feature on the phone.
Well, if you're a second and first grader, it's very difficult to explain that.
Sure.
If you're in high school, junior high, you can understand it. Once you get in these lower grades,
they don't know.
They
don't know.
Yeah.
Joy.
Oh, no, go ahead.
What are you going to say?
Another factor, when I was reading, especially from that the National Education Association article, they were saying that two things to consider, one, with these kind of policies. It's the teacher that implements them, right? So it'd be a teacher that says, hey, I see your phone, put it away. Like, that doesn't mean, like, automatic, I saw it, now we're throwing it into suspension. So that's one factor. Two, it's the introducing of technology into the classroom in the first place. I know my siblings have Chromebooks. A lot of kids have Chromebooks in the classroom now, and that screen time could be pulling away from the screen time of wanting to be on your phone. And so education leaders, they're looking at that as well, saying, okay, well, if kids are using Chromebooks, it's a little less of a distraction or emphasis, right, on pulling the phones out because they've already got a screen in front of them. So those are two things that I think we should be keeping in mind when we have this discussion, too.
Well, also think about testing, too. So tests, like, most likely the phones can't be out because that's an easy cheat if that's the case. So I'm sure that that's already in place, that during certain times you can't do it. It's just taking the extra step. Because I remember we didn't have the fancy phones when I was in school, and I was easily distracted with a pen and paper sometimes. So I can imagine having everything else at your fingertips.
Yeah, lots of comments.
We're getting a lot of comments. Laura saying, look up Yonder pouches. My school uses these. They've been very effective. I don't know what those are. I haven't heard of them. Melissa saying she doesn't feel like kids are safe in school, and so she wants her kids to have a cell phone to be able to get a hold of her. Norma saying when cell phones first came out, it was prohibited with punishment of suspension, and they don't need a cell phone anyway. So kind of saying what you were saying, Larry. Melissa, my kids have always had phones on them and Apple Watches. Joy, for safety reasons, keep the phone but keep the volume off. Hank saying, I don't think you can or should totally eliminate them. A suspension is probably stiff for a first-time offense, though. So.
And with that first-time offense, I can't stress enough. I mean, with the teachers kind of taking the reins on enforcing that, I think we can trust our teachers to say, you know, the phone was sticking out of the pocket. You know, we're not going to.
Can I just make one statement? Having been in classes a lot for 38 years, it's a very difficult job. So teachers have enough responsibility. Now they got to police phones. Go into a classroom with all those kids today. And what they have to deal with and the disciplinary problems, and put a phone with that, and they have to police that too. Our teachers have a most difficult time already. You know,
this is true.
There's so many issues with how they're underpaid, the disrespect they have. That's another difficulty, another serious situation with that. Now you got to police the phones, in addition to everything else that you have to do.
We talk about it on a daily basis: learning loss at schools, the performance of public schools, and whether or not money should be diverted to private schools. And it is not fair to our teachers to expect them to teach in this environment and then complain that the schools aren't doing better.
Exactly.
You can't have it both ways.
Now, talking about the environment and disciplinary action, a contending effort, do you think that if they tried to take cell phones out of the classroom, period, that might exacerbate disciplinary things?
In what way? Taking them out completely?
So trying to say that, like, okay, well, the rule is that kids can't have phones in class at all. Do you think that the pushback from students would cause more disciplinary action to be taken? That would be my concern, is that I think if you try to take cell phones out of the classroom altogether, I think you're going to get even worse pushback.
Well, I think you'll get more pushback from the parents. The kids, honestly, I don't care about. Let them complain.
Even though I think about...
Let them complain. But parents have a fair concern about safety. And so I think parents are where you're going to get the biggest pushback.
I do think we have covered stories in the past where kids have pulled out their phone and recorded something happening at the school or a teacher, and that they probably would have denied XYZ had it not been recorded, like so many things in today's day and age. So I was looking up these Yonder pouches that, so basically they're a pouch that you put your phone in, so if you do have a cell phone, you cannot access it during the school day. So, but she said they're implemented at her child's school, so I wonder if they have them for everybody, or if there's just this one.
I've heard of things like that. I didn't know that's what it was called. But.
Yonder pouch.
Yonder, I just Googled it and it came up, and lots of explanation, which I don't have time to.
Don't go over Yonder.
Exactly, just like that. It's a great name. All right, folks, chime in. Let us know what you think. What's the right way of implementing something like this? Is there a right way? We'll see you back here tomorrow morning for another edition of Wake Up Charlotte to Go.